You know why you would say that? Why you would jump to that conclusion? Because you're a little crybaby.
Whoa.
Well, if Freya can get past it, I can get past it.
Yeah, well, you're not as strong.
Yeah, on God.
On God.
Character
Yes,
fucking
Spencer.
development.
Welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we review the first volume of a brand new manga each week. And today, as always, I'm joined by...
Megan Porreed.
And...
Cody Ducker.
Cody, when are you gonna finally like do something?
Yeah, when are you gonna fucking do something?
Literally anything.
Literally, we want you to do anything.
How
Like-
about I punch you in the goddamn nose?
Okay, maybe not that. Maybe
Okay,
not
maybe
that. Maybe
chill,
not
chill,
that.
chill,
Yeah,
chill,
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 chill, but maybe something
Start
else.
doing stuff.
Yeah. Okay, that sounded sexual.
You took that as sexual.
I take a lot of things as
Yeah,
sexual.
do you know him?
Yeah, I take a lot of things as sexual. Anyway, we have a pretty cool episode planned today. We're going to be reviewing Volume 1 of Prince Freya with a very special guest. But before we get into that, I was kind of wondering. I kind of wanted to try some more stuff out with this purple box thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Were you really?
Yeah.
No? Are you interested?
Yeah, I've been wondering.
Oh, Cody's interested.
Cody's interested in
Oh,
something.
he piqued his interest.
I was kind of wondering. Well, let's see if we can turn this bad boy on real quick. Hey, purple box thing.
Oh, that's I guess that's its name.
That's the
Purple
activation
box
thing.
Actually, purple box thing. Do you have a name?
I am simply a database designed to answer any and all questions regarding Volume 1 podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna call you Glowy then. How about that? I'll just call you Glowy.
You're really bad. You're like the type to name your cat Blackie if it's
My
black.
cat's name is Monty.
Okay.
We have established do not name your cat
Yeah,
Blackie.
do not name your
Yeah,
black cat
no.
Blackie. No, it could be misinterpreted by a lot of people.
Okay.
But I guess I wanted to ask you, Glowy, if I may. Do you think you can maybe, because our intro's cool and all, but I kind of wish we had a different intro with a more like anime
Oh, yes.
kind of vibe.
Yes, that'd be awesome. That would be fucking awesome. Glowy.
You got that?
Glowy. Take us a song.
Can you do that? Can you write us a new intro that's preferably something with a more like anime sort of vibe?
Give me a moment. Generating the perfect anime opening.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess let's check it out. Oh my god!
Oh my god.
That was amazing!
Chloe, you shouldn't have.
That was amazing! I can't believe you whipped that up in what? Fucking 10 seconds?
Holy
That's the
sh-
beauty of an AI program.
Oh,
I'm
we have
stunned at how great it sounded. I can't even.
We have so much power.
We have so much power. Holy shit.
Unfortunately, I have overextended my programming and will need to temporarily shut down.
Of course you need to power down after that. I get it, dude.
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
lot of
Jesus Christ, by
work.
all means, take a little siesta because you've done more than enough in
You've
today's
blown us
episode.
away, and you made our Kokoros go doki doki.
Yeah, dude.
For sure.
Entering sleep mode.
Wow, dude. Well, now that's out of the way. That was kind of crazy, right,
That
guys?
was insane.
That was bonkers, I dare say.
Yeah, that was crazy. Now that that's all out of the way, I guess it's time to just get into the review. Like I said at the beginning, today we're going to be reviewing Volume 1 of Prince Freya, but we're not going to be doing it on our own today. Today we're going to be joined by a very, very, very special guest. Why are you pointing to Megan?
No, she's excited.
Oh, I'm doing the fanfare for dun 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 dun. Now introducing
From the Baka Boys Podcast, You know him. You love him. Make some noise for @Tech Crusader, otherwise known as Spencer. What up, Spencer?
What's up, Volume 1? I'm Spencer @Tech Crusader. You probably know me from the Baka Boys Podcast and my other hosts, Kiernan Buckshot and Cameron Yikes Baka, who have also been on this amazing manga podcast.
Yes,
But
they sure
today-
have, dude. Vinland Saga and Seraph of the End, two of my favorite episodes, I gotta say.
Love them.
Yeah, they're great. Spencer, thank you for being here, dude. Thank you for joining us via Zoom, because you're all the way in Tejas down there.
Tejas?
Yeah, in Tejas. This is a manga series, by the way, that by the way, wasn't that stuff at the beginning with that box thing pretty crazy? Spencer, wasn't it? I mean, Spencer's speechless, dude.
Spencer's fucking
He's stunned.
speechless.
He literally has nothing to say.
You guys want me to talk about the theme song?
Yeah,
you
wasn't
heard
it
it.
amazing?
Yeah, you heard it.
Listen. You guys are already better than the Baka Boys.
Oh.
And our own host, Cameron, will admit to that.
Damn.
Let's just say Cameron's got a very special place
should
in
be
my heart.
subscribed to the Volume 1 podcast. That's what you
Yeah.
should be doing.
Yeah,
if you're
that's
watching
subbies.
this,
Yeah.
if you're watching this right now, and we're about to review this fantastic manga, Prince Freya. If you're watching this Volume 1 episode right now and you're not subscribed, you should hit that subscribe button right now, because Josh and Megan and Cody, they all very much so deserve it. They work very hard on this podcast. Their production value is through the roof. It's much better than our own podcast, and they deserve every bit of like and subscribe that they get and every bit of interaction they get on YouTube. So make sure you guys support them if you enjoy this episode and you enjoy this review.
Oh my God,
I
Spencer,
know.
dude, thank you so
My
much,
heart.
dude.
Aw. Thank
Jesus
you so
Christ,
much.
we gotta hire you to do our all of our PR
Yeah,
and all of our
PR,
marketing and
yeah,
everything, dude. That was amazing.
Hey man, we all have an anime podcast here, you know.
Well,
Does it come with a job?
yeah, to
Oh,
that
yeah.
I say check out the Baka Boys podcast too, because it's pretty fucking dope.
Check out them
where-
Bakas.
where-
Check out them Baka Boys.
Yeah,
Hit their Discord.
Hit their Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join the Baka Boys Discord. Hey, I heard these guys named Volume 1 are in there. I'm not sure about that.
Oh.
maybe.
Come find us. Come find us
Yeah,
and
yeah.
check it out.
Spencer, so thank you again for being here, dude. We're reviewing Prince Freya. This was a manga that you read recently. How did you I guess, do you have a I have the official synopsis pulled up, but I'm kind of curious, how did you find out about this manga and what's it about, I guess?
Okay, so which Volume 1 also did a recent episode with my fellow co-host from the Baka Boys Podcast. They did an episode on Seraph of the End Vampire Reign, which is a manga series that also has 2 seasons of an anime, but I was getting caught up on that manga, and I was on the Shonen Jump app and their website, which Shonen Jump is in collaboration with Viz Media, who has a lot of other manga publications. And I'm newer to manga. I haven't really read a whole lot of source material, but Seraph of the End was one of my favorite anime that I really wanted to continue. So I continued to read that manga, and when I got caught up, I really wanted, like, basically more manga to read. And I saw Prince Freya on the Viz Media website and app, which I saw the cover here, which is not
dude.
focusing because my camera's shit. But I saw the cover and it just looked really interesting. I mean, the art was really good, and I looked at it and I was like, I wonder what this is about, because I had never heard of it, and I immediately went to Google just to find out about it, see if there was a community. That's something I do when I get in a new series, is I see if there's an active community for it, because I always like participating in, communities on Reddit or social media, whatever it might be. And I found that there was nothing about this manga. There was no YouTube videos, there was no Reddit, there was nothing, and that even piqued my interest more, because I like to support series that maybe aren't as popular, and this being a Viz Media publication, I was thinking it might get some steam in the future, and I might be a pioneer to this story. But Prince Freya is a shoujo publication. It's published on Shoujo Beat through Viz Media, which is basically Shonen Jump, but for shoujo manga. And if you don't know what shoujo is, it is a demographic of manga and anime targeted, I believe, at the same age range of shonen, but just primarily for a female demographic.
Yeah, Megan, you're familiar with a lot of shoujo series, right? Or a
Yeah,
few?
yeah. Like an example, like Ouran High School Host Club would be a shoujo. Vampire Knight, Zombie Loan. Like I'm
High School
comparing
of the
it.
Dead.
It's not a shoujo.
Not a shoujo.
Whoa!
For some, for some.
No, not for any. Not
Yeah,
for
not
any.
for any.
That is etchy.
There's some.
Okay, you don't know your genres.
Can there
but
not
yeah,
be etchy shoujo? Is that
Yeah.
No, that could be. That could definitely be.
yeah.
It's just highly unlikely.
That's what I meant.
It's highly unlikely, and shoujo is primarily like, love and the two main men are like her big brothers, but they like find more, and it's very like it's very good. I do like shoujo a lot.
Reverse harem in
Reverse
most cases.
harems usually primarily, like Vampire Knight also has main girl character and then two kind of like love interests, I guess, and they're usually men or boys, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, this series has a lot of love
it
stuff
really
that's
does.
Could be called other things other than love. But
What do you mean?
We'll get into that.
Whoa, hold up. But so Prince Freya is a shoujo manga. It's mostly compared to something like Yona of the Dawn, which I personally haven't delved into at all, but is a very popular shoujo manga that also got an anime adaptation. I believe it got 2 seasons. But Prince Freya is, and of course we have the synopsis pulled up, but on the back of the
read the synopsis on the back of the book.
Yeah, because I could try to explain what it's about, but I'd probably make it sound a lot lamer than it actually is. So, this is from the back of the cover of Volume 1. Haha, Volume 1.
Get it?
Yeah. Oh, wow. But yeah, okay, so Prince Freya. Freya thinks of herself as a simple village girl, but her idyllic life is shattered when she is caught up in a treacherous Sigurdian plot. She bears a striking resemblance to her country's Prince Edward, who lies dying from poison. Without its prince, Tyr will quickly be engulfed by violence. Now Freya must take Prince Edward's place and lead his valiant knights in defending the realm. So essentially, it's about a girl who has to become the prince of her country because she's the only person who can effectively replace the prince in his untimely assassination because she bears a striking resemblance to him.
Yeah, and that's a synopsis that doesn't give too much away, or do you
No.
guys disagree?
Yeah.
This follows the trend of giving away the story of Volume 1 that a lot of manga do.
You think so?
They would be different if, I'm not going to spoil it, but the scene where you didn't see it coming, that would be like, Prince Freya. And this character, it would like, if it gave away that, I would be like, okay, no. But this is kind of setting up what you see in Volume 1. Not too bad.
Yeah.
But it piques your interest.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of things that I was like, oh wow, that.
Well, yeah, because
no.
there's some stuff that happens in the very first volume that I was not expecting, and I have to say, out of the gate, I didn't know how I was going to feel about this series, but after that moment that we will talk about happened, I was hooked.
Yeah,
I was hooked immediately. I really
I think that would probably
it.
be the exact spoiler mark.
Oh yeah.
I would. If we're thinking of the same scene, which
we
certainly
are. Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
We
it definitely was like,
Yeah, that's when like I thought like, okay, I did not expect Spencer to recommend something like this. I would more expect Megan to recommend.
Why? Because I'm a girl.
I like to experience like all different genres and stuff, and I had never had any experience with any shoujo publication or shoujo anime outside of Fruits Basket, which I kind of enjoyed quite a bit. It is a good anime.
I love
for sure.
Fruits Basket.
Me and
dude.
Josh are suckers for Fruits Basket.
But
I'm a
like,
sucker, dude.
I was like, can they make something with the tropes and themes of Fruits Basket and translate that into more of like an action-based series that might pique the interest of, I guess, a male audience more? And that's kind of where I found Prince Freya, and I was like, yo, I mean, I just read a shonen series, just read fucking 100 chapters. I might as well try to pick up a shoujo and see how that compares.
Yeah.
And was not disappointed.
Yeah, I'm curious to see kind of. I know Megan, you've had experience reading a lot of shoujo before, right? But so what were you expecting? And then Cody, who I'm sure has never read anything like this, what were you expecting? But first, Megan, what did you expect going into it?
Yeah, so I mean, the cover alone, very shoujo-esque. It looked immediately like some this tragedy is going to ensue just based off the color scheme and the facial expression, and
very soft
rose petals, very romantic, which shoujo's all about. And I did like the cover, and again, like Spencer was saying, I really haven't seen anyone talk about this at all, or even it come up on like my feed at all or anywhere. So
I tried to do when I was doing research for this episode. I couldn't find a lot of information on this series at all. There's not really a lot of information. A lot of series have like fan wikis or fandom pages.
Yeah.
This one didn't really have anything.
No,
really,
no. So I was excited, and honestly, a newer shoujo that I've never heard of. I was like, okay, let's go. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes. And he did compare it to. People do compare it what I've seen of Yona of the Dawn, right? And I have not seen any of that. And if it's similar to this and already has an anime, I might dive into that a little bit.
I thought about that as well.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Cody, what did you expect going into this?
Again, I don't read synopsises when I go into these, so like even the little things I'm always surprised by because I'm like, oh, I didn't expect, and then I see the synopsis like, oh, that's the basic premise of this. But I had no expectations. But then I started reading a couple of pages, and I was like, oh, is this like one of those animes Megan had us watch?
Okay, we watched it together, and we all consented to watching it. I didn't force
We did.
anything on you.
And I was like, oh yeah, but I don't think it's gonna get to the level of having those two brothers always be vaguely into each other. But then, I started seeing some imagery in this, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I guess
BL for the win.
Everybody is very horny in this world. Everybody.
Horny, they're in love.
Well,
yeah, everyone is giving each other those eyes. And it's, everything has like sparkles in it, and I was like,
Welcome to the world of shoujo.
Oh,
it's like
cool.
it's like etchy with raw emotion.
Oh, yeah.
romantic
Welcome to womanhood.
Okay. I think I know
There's a little more than lust going on. Okay, it's called love. The big L, love. Ever heard of it? Yeah.
I think I know a little thing or two about womanhood.
yeah, I mean, I used to understand love.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you said womanhood. I was like, oh, Cody.
Hey,
No, I
keyword
said
used to.
womanhood.
Yeah.
That's why I read shoujo, because maybe it'll help me regain my understanding of
Yeah,
happiness.
flex that brain
Exactly.
muscle a little
Yeah,
bit.
Yeah,
try to
exactly.
remember these feelings.
Remember what it's like to feel anything, really.
I didn't expect though. The first shot though is she like goes cliff diving.
Right.
I wrote that down. I was like,
Yeah.
what is it? She said, haha, you went to that dangerous cliff and jumped right off of it. You should literally just plunge to her death. I was like, is this how it starts? She's just
Yeah,
gonna die?
I thought like, is this one of those things where it's like, oh, here's how it ends. And record scratch, you're probably wondering how I got here.
Right.
That is a very good point, because when you flip to the first page, you're like, oh, this could be one of those like reveals the end, and then it flashes back, and it's like,
And because she's not covered in water at the beginning, like after that, so I was like, I don't know, I was like really confused because it's not like she's like, oh, I was just cliff diving,
Yeah.
which is an activity that I've had to do that
Look,
because
Freya has got a lot of layers, okay?
Yeah.
She's a little bold and adventurous.
I did not get that vibe from her going forward. You do
Yeah,
eventually,
that's
but
why-
she does
Yeah.
cry a good amount.
Yeah.
Well, even
Even the
the
mangaka herself was like, yeah, Freya's kind of a crybaby.
Yeah.
well,
Toru Honda's a
I think
crybaby.
the author
Yeah.
even mentions like you wouldn't expect someone like this to jump off a cliff.
and
And I thought that was like a Lemony Snicket type of series of unfortunate events, like the narrator. I didn't know if that was part of the story, but the narrator like has these little inserts every now and then. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, is this foreshadowing to her getting to a point of jumping off a cliff?
No, I really like that. And Spencer, that's something that you mentioned when we had talked about the series before. Usually in manga, there'll be a lot of times where at the end of chapters, the mangaka will, or maybe at the end of a volume, the mangaka will give the readers a note, like something about like how they felt while they were writing the series or how grateful or thankful they are. But in this manga, she gives you these little insights throughout the first volume, like almost as we're introduced to characters, she gives us insight into like how she thought of them and this and this and that. And I love that.
And let's talk about the noise that gets made when she jumps off this cliff, which is TMP, which I think.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah,
How do you audiolize that?
TMP. See, it's the P that makes it hard because I'm just saying Tim, but.
that's gonna sound
Well,
real
there were
good
some
in people's
rocks
ears.
falling. So
Is that the?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's what those are. Because it's
Yeah,
hard
use
to
your
tell
imagination.
what's scenery and what's like metaphor. Because in the next page, she's like surrounded by flowers and bubbles. So it's
Yeah.
I didn't know which one is.
How many times do we have to say it, Cody? Welcome to Shoujo.
Welcome to Shoujo.
Yeah, you can't even lie though, Cody. The art is fucking awesome.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's very
pretty.
Like
Okay,
Megan-esque?
he's being sexist now.
Yeah, now you've crossed the line, Cody.
Now you've crossed the fucking line. No, but yeah, I was like, oh, maybe it's a metaphor for her trusting, putting her trust into these two men with her life and trusting the villagers to help her out with her sick ass mom.
Yeah.
Which
It's,
always has to be sick.
Yeah, she took a tip of faith.
Okay, I don't like
there
that.
we go.
Cody, stop shadowboxing in the corner, please. But yeah, Spencer. So, kind of like walk us through. I guess we'll go through this first volume, and for anybody watching, it's going to be very light spoilers. We'll give a clear indicator when we start revealing things that you might want to wait to read before you find out. But yeah, walk us through sort of like the beginning of this series and like her meeting her childhood friends who were these two brothers, Alex, who is Alexis, and
Alexi,
Aaron.
Yeah.
And Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, Freya is from a village in her home country of Tyr, where she lives in this village specifically because her mom, who I believe is named Skadi, Skadi, Skaidi, she's very sick, chronically ill, and they moved to this village essentially because everyone in the village lives to support Freya's mother through her illness. And this village is called Tina, actually. I have that right here in the book. But essentially, she has these two childhood friends who are called Alex and Aaron, or Alexi and Aaron, whichever. Or Alec. He's got like 3 names.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I read it, I was like, just call him Alex.
I was thinking that.
They're so like character design similar that when I was looking at them in the first volume, I was like, I cannot tell them apart. Like,
one is definitely taller. One is definitely
Yeah.
taller than the other one. That is significantly shown. But I was like,
Yeah.
Alex, Aaron, they have an A in my book.
Yeah, dude, they're both pretty hot. And can I say this? And can you guys just be honest with me?
Oh God.
Look, and Spencer, I want you to chime in on this too. I understand. I get it. They're fawning over Freya.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. She's
Okay.
got a lot going for her. Sure, she's sweet, she's kind, she's gentle, but they get a little rapey at times.
There's that one part that was like.
when are we saying that they get rapey?
Yeah,
I never
when?
got that vibe
When?
from
I feel
Aaron
like
and
that-
When
Alex.
he's very forceful, maybe not in a playful way, not like I'm gonna make you uncomfortable. She like is like they're like.
Well,
Okay,
maybe
but-
it would be. Maybe it's
You're-
hard to
you're-
tell because she's crying all the
Oh
time.
my God.
Are you talking about Aaron being forceful?
Yes, Aaron. There's that
Whoa.
scene with it when they're in the woods, and
Okay, that was the guards.
no, there's a
No,
scene
Because there's
no,
another scene
No,
with
there was
the-
a scene where she's about to.
she's
Yeah, I
about
see.
to.
There's a scene.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But you're talking about something else.
No, I'm
No,
talking
no,
about the
after-
scene with her and Aaron. Spencer, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, when he kisses her?
Yes, I
No, when he
understand.
does,
I'm-
what's
I'm
that?
at
What's
the-
that? A cabadon?
Yeah. Oh, but I want to. That's what
But
he
it was
says.
not just a cabin. He was like, there's like a close up of him, like he's like on. Yeah,
That's
Okay,
not-
no. Nothing
Spencer's-
Aaron did here in the beginning of Volume 1 with his romantic involvement with Freya was necessarily rapey, except
at all.
except for
stand
now that
corrected.
I'm reading the dialogue, as someone who's read the other volumes that are out, as I'm going back and reading the dialogue where he says, this is Aaron, Mr. Knight, one of her child friends, Alex's brother, he says, "You're too easy, Freya." I could see how that could be. While he's fucking choking her, basically.
yeah. While he's got her pinned against the tree.
Hey.
Well, actually pinned against his chest, if that's better.
Is that better?
But look, then he says, "My treasure." Like,
Okay,
my
you guys looked way into this. This is classic shoujo shit. This is Cabadon.
No, I know,
This is
I
I
know.
want you, but I can't have you. This is like blushy to the max. Like
He's
I
the
was
Black
like,
Knight.
yeah, I was like,
Tyr.
oh my god. When he kissed her, he's like, I shouldn't have done that. I was like, no, you should.
Now I gotta.
Yeah, that was that
outside
felt
of
like from what I know of shoujo. Yeah, having someone.
Soju. Are you
Soju.
drunk? Right now?
I gotta be ready.
The water bottle's just full of soju.
Yeah, whatever the. Is that a? Okay, we're gonna.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Okay, because this is like a romanticized person of being an attractive, confident person who at the same time is bashful. And that was the where he was like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
After just completely dominating the situation, and he was like, oh my god, do you think I'm weird?
Yeah.
I'm weird.
Yeah. But I will say, outside of that one moment, right? I mean, I get it. I fell for these relationships, and
It
just
seems like a realistic thing of someone.
Yeah, and just to kind of catch everybody up, like these guys are her childhood friends who protect her village.
Yes.
And they work. I think Alex is a foot soldier in the Royal Army.
Yes.
Correct.
And Aaron is a close personal guard.
Black Knight.
The Black
Yes.
Knight.
Yeah, he's
Almost-
like one of the best knights in the realm. He's,
I like
Yeah.
the design of the what is it, Oleski? Which one is
yeah,
the Black
Alex's
Yeah.
design is.
Knight? I like
yeah.
his body armor more. If it was an RPG, I'd go with that. The armor design is actually pretty good. Normally they overdo it in these kinds of manga. But it's just like, okay, he has like bulky decorative armor because he's in the Royal Guard,
Yeah.
and this guy just has normal looking armor.
Yeah. He's a foot soldier.
Yeah.
I think they call him.
And you have to realize they have not seen Freya for like how long? Like years?
I think they said like 4 years because they've been in military service and they left the village of Tina because obviously, I mean, Aaron is the Black Knight of Tyr. He's one of the prince's personal guards. He has to be there. He's one of the best warriors in the country. And Alex is trying desperately to be really as good as his brother. And you see early on in the volume that obviously Alex feels insecure in the light of Aaron because Alex also has feelings for Freya. They both do, whether it's romantic or it's a protective type thing because they grew up together.
Yeah.
Alex doesn't want to be left in the shadow of Aaron, who's this badass knight.
Is Alex is the little brother?
Yeah, he's a little brother.
Yeah, so like he's just like a head shorter than Aaron.
Yeah, and they look different, Cody. Get over it. But
They look very similar.
If that's what you were looking for, he's the short one,
right.
and then he's the tall one, and then look, and then armor type. But like
he
it's
is
pretty hard.
considerably shorter.
Yeah, no,
And
he is.
considerably less attractive.
No, they're both very cute. But I'm saying, like, imagine you go to the fucking military. You're thinking about this girl at home. Your brother has a crush on her too, and then you get to see her again, and you're like a man now, and you're like, I need to do some shit, or I'm gonna lose her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's
Your
been
brother-
he's been thinking about it nonstop for 4 years probably.
Yeah, and then his brother, it seems like okay, I'm just saying this. Aaron didn't endear himself to me until something happens later on in the
Every
series.
time we get one
because-
negative comment, it's always because of something you said.
Okay, relax.
It's always because of this kind of stuff.
Let me just say.
Hear me out.
No, yeah, hear me out. Yeah, hear me out.
Uh-huh.
Fuck, you made me lose my train of thought.
Oh.
My point is that Aaron knows how Alex feels about Freya, and then proceeds to wake up early on purpose to corner her in the forest and can profess his love to her in a roundabout kind of way.
Not in a roundabout.
Early bird gets the worm.
Not a roundabout. Well, you forget that Alex was trying.
The worm in this situation sounds so. Early bird gets
Pussy.
early bird gets the pussy.
No, because I mean, dude, you have to feel bad for Alex. I mean, he literally.
What,
in
Cody?
that scene-
What?
Didn't expect.
Go ahead, Spencer. What were you saying?
In the scene outside the inn, I mean, Freya comes out to talk to Alex because it's been all about Aaron for a minute until Freya and Alexi finally get some alone time, in which of course Alex is being like, "Oh, I'm just the amazing Aaron's little brother," and then he's about to tell her like, "Hey, I kind of like you," and then fucking Aaron just walks outside and he's like, "Now what were you gonna say?"
Oh,
He's just cock blocking him. It's kind of big.
Oh,
okay, big
yeah.
brother. You're a dick, dude.
Straight up.
I thought they were actual siblings because they're like, oh, you're like
No.
I was like, oh, is this even? I thought this was a step beyond
Oh, that would have made it better.
Shoujo, and I
Say it again.
I'm
Cody?
never gonna pronounce it right. Shoujo.
Wait, you thought Freya was related to Alex
I thought
and
they
Aaron?
were like brother and sister. Oh, is this some Game of Thrones type?
Well,
Or they were gonna do some step thing? Ah, little volume 2 spoiler.
Oh, yeah, because
No. Hold on.
Oh, incest
Second cousins,
for the
that's fine.
Wincest.
Can we throw a spoiler tag right here? Do we need to do that, or do I just talk about
Let's
this
save
later?
it for the spoiler side. We'll save it for the spoiler side.
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
Jot it down in your head. You know, get
Oh, I got it.
your
I've been
detective
thinking about this whole
typewriter.
Because hearing you guys talk about Alex and Aaron is funny because I know like.
Oh.
And I'd like
story
to.
with
If we could talk about the ultra rare tsundere mother. I've never seen that combo before.
oh yeah, how she's like really sick and needs help, but is also a little bit of a tsundere.
She's like, my idiot brothers, and I'm like, oh, okay. This is...
And
yeah.
I love that moment between Freya and Alex when she's like, you have changed, like you're taller than me, and that probably meant the world to him because he's short.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you make me blush because I'm tall compared to you. So cute.
Yeah. So I guess at this point in the story, we find out, because I do want to get to the spoiler stuff soon, but we
That
find out
smirk the
that
mother gives.
there's some political tomfoolery going on.
Shenanigans and tomfoolery
Yeah.
is what they should have called this.
Yeah, that's a great alternate title for this series. And
Boku no tomfoolery.
okay, no.
Okay.
I don't know what Boku no means, but I hear it a lot in anime.
Okay.
Do your research. Okay.
Boku no Prince Freya.
Oh,
That sounds better.
I like Boku no tomfoolery though a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Freya basically, overhears something she's not supposed to hear, and she,
Is that when does the big brother hit on her? Is that after she? Or
That's
is it,
after. That's immediately after because she gets saved by him.
Okay, because she's about to get raped.
Yeah, no, like straight
Oh,
up,
yeah,
no
yeah,
thought.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
see
yeah.
her and go, she's kind of plain, but she'll do. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? You guys are just gonna go immediately to that? Like, no
Yeah.
conversation?
I mean,
just,
welcome to the military. That's
oh god,
It's
that
also
happens
like
now still. I mean, that's,
medieval
This was-
times. They don't give a
yeah, exactly. Like a low medieval fantasy setting is what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
So it's as far as the way of moral correctness goes, there's not a lot present in this story.
No. And then he comes in, swoops in, saves her.
chops the dude's arm off.
Yeah, I like
That was
that.
cool. That's when it was like, oh, I get okay. This isn't what I thought these first few pages were setting up. What this was going to be.
yeah.
Stuff is actually like fights are happening and it's
Yeah.
actually brutal.
Yeah.
It's an interesting combination this is doing.
And then we get introduced to Sable. I was like, Hisoka, that you?
Hisoka, is that you? Yeah, he's the creepy guy with the bags under his eyes or whatever.
Yeah, the creepy Hisoka looking dude. And he's
Yeah.
like, hey, I imagine he talks like this, and he's just like, I wanted to see you
He's the
forgive the
Hisoka.
oversight. I shall make sure to punish them.
yeah, the way he said, I'll punish them.
Yeah, he's like, I'll punish them. Yeah.
I guess I could imagine him sounding a little bit like that. Yeah,
A little
that's pretty
deeper,
accurate.
obviously,
Yeah,
but like,
yeah. No, exactly like that. Always like
yeah.
on the verge of like climaxing.
yeah.
just like Hisoka. Yeah, just like
We're
Hisoka.
seeing
Yeah.
that guy get his arm cut off was sexually satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the type.
But yeah. So to keep powering through it,
Powering. Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
well, because I want to get to because Spencer's obviously read a little bit more than
Yeah,
we have.
yeah.
And I'm curious to see what else happens.
But
in
after
the series.
that, Aaron just immediately goes to trying to sexually
See,
impress
this is- yeah.
Freya on a tree.
That's the part that makes it weirder is after she almost gets raped is when that's when he makes his move.
I mean, it was like a knight in shining armor scenario.
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, it's just you see that in movies all the time where it's like that's like the ultimate icebreaker for a couple is saving
Yeah, it
them from
really
getting
is.
raped. And
Because
like
he's defending her, and he realizes how much he cares for her when he has to defend her from evil rapists.
and then that's when he does his Cabadon.
Yeah, that's
where it's
fucking
like
good.
if you
There's no problems here.
it's a weird. A lot of movies, media does it. Where like that's the like. And I want to confess something to you.
Yeah, pick a better moment. You know what I mean? Don't do it right after.
moment.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't use
called-
that as your segue to start like getting aggressive with your
But-
move. Like,
but
yeah,
doesn't
hey,
he-
you don't
Aaron-
think that's bad timing?
Doesn't he
Aaron,
have to
read
leave?
the room, bro.
Doesn't he have to leave? That's why he's kind of doing this. Doesn't he have to go back to?
Yes,
the
exactly.
prince? Exactly. That's why he's fucking doing it.
Yeah.
He doesn't know if it's gonna be another fucking 4 years.
They're at war. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
doesn't
this
credit
is just,
him.
he's doing all the moves. He's like holding
just
her,
jealous.
he kisses her, and then he goes, "Oops,
Maybe a little bit.
I couldn't help myself."
Cody-
Like, that's such a a fake like you wouldn't have that.
Cody.
You wouldn't be. I don't like that's.
It's shoujo.
I know.
Yeah, Cody.
Shoujo.
Cody just wishes he could have that shoujo like romance.
Of course.
He wishes he could be Freya. He wishes he could be Freya, held by big, strong knight Aaron, the Black Knight of Tyr. That you wish that was you.
If,
yeah, dude.
If this was like, what is this, Prince, Frank, and then it was, 2 girl knights like doing Cabadon on you.
Okay.
Prince Frank.
I mean, yeah, a girl.
Not even your name, just another
Yeah, why would
person's
you be
name.
called Frank?
I get harassed by a group of girls, and then like another girl like kills them, and is like, by the way, you're mine now. Like, okay.
So you're saying that you can't like this because it's the genders aren't
Whoa,
reversed?
sexist.
Yeah.
Sexist.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, well, guess you can't argue with that.
Yeah, no, I guess cut the episode. We're done. We're done.
That man has his opinions.
Yeah.
God damn.
I don't. It's the blushing. It's like, okay, this is shoujo.
Learn how to say it.
It's really not hard.
Yeah.
It's
Shoujo. This is the first time I've heard this.
you know
word.
the name Joe and you know the word show? Yeah, just put those together and you have shoujo.
Okay. Pretend you're Joe and ask me if I'm gonna be at the party.
Hey Joe, are you going to be at the party?
Faux show, Joe.
Okay.
Yes,
good.
everybody needs a mnemonic device.
That was good. But remember it. You can remember it now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Faux show, Joe.
Okay. Anyway, Spencer. So yeah. Where do we leave off? Where they're at?
This is when the intrigue occurs. The tomfoolery. This is
The
when-
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Aaron after Aaron gets his moment with Freya, which sadly he deprived Alex of that moment.
Straight up.
They set off for the war because what else are you gonna do when you're in the military and there's a fucking war going on?
Yeah.
And that's where they reveal that someone is sicky.
Yeah. Someone is sicky and looks a lot like Freya.
Which is, I would hate to be like, oh, you need to be the prince, and I'm like, I have to be how old is he? Like a pubescent boy?
Prepubescent.
Yeah,
pronounce words right.
I'm sorry,
Cody, where did that come from?
Cody.
I channeled you guys being mean to me.
Yeah,
Like-
Cody could pronounce prepubescent, but he couldn't pronounce shoujo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, hey, do I really look like this boy? They're like, yes, you look exactly like this small boy. I'm
Yeah.
like, cool.
Yeah.
That's
What?
fucking awesome.
Is that personal? You don't like?
Yeah, no shit, it's personal. This girl has to be a boy now, and she doesn't even need yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I guess that'd be kind of insulting if they're like, hey, hey, little girl, I need you to switch places with this boy.
Hey, almost woman. We're
Yeah.
gonna strip you of your womanhood, and you
Yeah.
have to be a little.
Well, it's
brat.
not that she's masculine; it's that he's extremely feminine.
Yeah, no, that's very
Yeah.
true too.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And so is Prince Edward, but if obviously when Freya overhears that, hey, the prince is dying, and Prince Edward being the great leader of their country, where they have a lot of faith in Prince Edward because he's a very competent leader, even though he's a very feminine man.
Yeah. Very feminine man.
Yeah, he's like, see, you guys remind me of like CL Phantom Hive.
Yeah.
From Black Butler, like just like that type of boy that could dress up like a girl, and everyone's like, "Huh, what are you now? You're a girl." And they're like, "No."
Yeah.
It's
Just
like,
a lot of gender bending going on here.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
There's the theory that Billy the Kid was a girl
Wow.
because it's like
Billie Eilish.
because that happened a lot. No, that happened a lot in the past where it's like a girl would just I'm like a teenager. And like people would just move on because even back then it's like you're just covered in dirt all the time.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of like Prince and the Pauper, but the Pauper
Popped.
popped.
Yeah, get that on
the
the
Prince
next.
popped. The
yeah.
Prince popped.
Yeah,
Oh.
get that on the back of the next volume as
Oh,
the
yeah.
synopsis, the official synopsis.
Yeah, Prince of
Pop
the
goes
Pauper
the Prince.
meets Cabadon.
Okay.
Which not
right.
knowing that was the basic premise of this manga, I was like, that's weird to mention that he's sick. And then like when he's like they like run into him dying, I was like, what? You're just gonna? I didn't expect that.
Yeah, and the stakes, to be clear, are like when she's presented with this opportunity to trade places with the prince. The stakes are what? Megan, why are you making that face?
Sorry, I just remembered because I had a question about this, and I guess I just answered it in my head. Like the girl Freya, they were like trying to bring her back to the castle because they knew that she looked like the prince.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
said no, we couldn't find her to save her.
Alex
Aaron-
and yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
that's
they look
very
out for her.
that's
Sorry, we didn't mention that.
Oh yeah, the reason they went to the village
Yeah.
was to get her
And then they saw her and they realized that they couldn't do that to her.
Because he's in love, and then...
But she is in the bigger picture. That's the point, that it's like people know of her. So that's why it was crazy that she just chose to follow them.
So that means that's like public knowledge that like there's a girl that looks exactly like the prince.
Well, it's not public knowledge. It's more of like Aaron and Alex being in the military and their knowledge, knowing that their connection with their connection with, obviously Aaron guards the prince himself. He understands the connection between the two. So when he's told by the general to be like, "Hey, you gotta go like get this girl," like the Prince Edward's dying. You know, we can't have him die, because the big thing is if he dies and the country finds out, they're going to lose the war against Sigurd, and they can't have that because Prince Edward was like their last hope. Like they love their prince. It's medieval times. You know, that's like their like whole like kind of, I guess, like trump card per se. And, you know, when he dies and when then Freya runs up on Prince Edward, who's dying in the courtyard.
Love that scene.
Yeah.
Who's dying in the courtyard, and he's like, "Yo, like, you got to be me. It's something only you can do. No one else can be me."
Yeah, and the fact that what's his name? Yeah, Aaron. Aaron is like, "I love you, Freya, but you also look like the prince."
Yeah, see, that's another layer to all of this, you know?
It gets
one
even...
of the shoujo implications of this.
He said it. What were you going to say, Spencer?
Yeah, what were you going to say, Spencer?
It's like, I'm not going to say that, like, Aaron and Alex and a character who gets introduced later on, Julius, I don't want to say that there's, like, homosexual implications with them, but...
There's that.
Yeah, that's BL, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
it's
because
very
one of
BL.
is this the evil effeminate guy?
No.
He threatens to
What?
like do something to one of his captives, like
What?
physically.
What? What are you talking about?
What?
Isn't there a part where?
Oh, yes, you're right. You're right.
All right.
So,
Everyone going against me.
I just don't remember.
Gaslighting me.
No gaslight.
So what is he talking about, Spencer?
So essentially, Aaron gets captured by Sigurd, right? And this is when I believe his name is Sable. Yeah.
Yeah, Sable.
The guy with the weird underbags, evil guy,
Yeah.
first antagonist gets introduced. And then he has Aaron, he goes up to his face and he says, "I'll be sure to have my way with you when I take you before my king." So, and my way with you when I take you before the king. So I don't know if that's implying that.
And even take you.
And they're very close. They're very close, and they're very close together.
They're drawing that line between like effeminate like boys. Like there's a lot of characters here. That's why I said the gender bending to this story is very important, because a lot of characters in here, even ones that get introduced later on, that you're like, holy shit, is that a boy or a girl? Like I literally sent one of the characters that gets introduced later, I sent in the Discord server, I was like, a panel, I was like, all right, is this a guy or a girl? You'll help me figure it out. and that's just kind of how I guess the series is. I mean, the main character is essentially becoming a boy, but you know, people know she's a girl, people close to her. So it's
there's one character in the personal guard that I did not realize was a boy or a man until like way too late.
Too
late.
Well, I mean, I guess it's never too late. But what's the name, Spencer?
McCall?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
McCall was the character I sent in the Discord. I was like, is this a boy or a girl? Y'all gotta help me figure it out.
Yeah, I did not know until they started saying he, him, and I was like, oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
McCall's sick though. I mean,
Yeah.
badass character.
Oh, yeah.
So
There's a lot of badass characters in this series, and when we get to the point where they have to, you know, Freya becomes aware that she has to switch places with the prince. She does it because she doesn't do it right away, but you know, the only incentive for her to do it is that her, you know, village is going to be conquered or invaded, or you know, and her mom, who's there sick, will be, you know, in danger, right?
Yeah.
And then that's when isn't that when that guy escapes and the thing finally happens?
they have a nightly fight, and we get to see the Black Knight, and he's like shattering swords, and I'm always like, oh, okay, this guy.
And then we get Freya revealed, and she's now the Prince Edward, and
apparently they sounded the same too. So this guy was.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's maybe doing a little bit of a voice. Could use your imagination.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's like Prince Edward was like 15 anyways, so you know.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had a little bit of a soft voice.
Yeah, but then he's just never going to like get taller or get buffer.
Well, they're just
She could
working.
get buffer.
You know,
She could get buffer, yeah, but like they're just gonna expect him to like grow into like a man, and I think she's just done growing.
well, that's problems that they'll have to deal with down
Yeah.
the road. But right now,
Yeah. We're dealing with bigger problems.
yeah.
So I think this would probably.
Yeah, this will probably be the moment where we start talking about some spoilers. So,
Yeah, 'cause it's about to get into that.
yeah.
Should we talk about spoilers right now? Or
I mean, if there's a sound that
I guess
you know.
some sort of sound effect.
Cue the spoiler sound.
It's spoiler time.
Oh, a little chimney sweeper there.
Yes.
Oh, I like the little. What do you call it?
It's my prince, and I'll protect him with my life.
Okay, it's a little medieval, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Spencer. So, do you want to be the one to drop this bomb? Because, dude, when I read it, I was like, I'm in. This is where I was like, I'm.
Oh
hooked.
yeah.
I went back and had to reread it because I'm like, did I not? Was that the other person?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Cody, literally me first time reading it. So essentially the bomb that we're about to drop, like we said, spoilers, so don't be mad if you want to read this.
Yeah.
And we ruined one of the big plot twists for you. But essentially, they're in the courtyard at the royal palace. Prince Edward had gotten poisoned and died, and Freya had taken his place. And Freya returns back to the courtyard where Sable and the other Sigurdian diplomats are there, and they're having this big argument because the agreement was to get Freya to be able to save the village and save Freya's mother, right? Well, they didn't get Freya because Aaron lied and said that she wasn't there. Well, in turn, a fight breaks out, like we said, and Aaron is defending Freya, in which Sable then runs up and cuts his fucking head off.
Dang.
So,
Face crack.
what you were expecting from the series might have been some happiness and shit, but what you come to realize about Prince Freya is it is a shoujo that is very much dark and action-based.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's not afraid to kill characters, as it just killed Aaron, who is dead as of Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that was a real Ned Stark kind of moment. You know,
That's funny.
That was to me the moment that like I forgave because I was a little on the fence about Aaron. He did some questionable things alone in the woods with a young girl, but at the same time, after that happened, I was like, you know what, dude, you redeemed yourself. I'm sorry for thinking negatively of you, Aaron. You're a hero, and you've always been a hero.
He got cheap-shotted.
He got super cheap shotted.
They knew that they couldn't fight him one-on-one. He's the Black Knight, as you learn a later character named Julius, who also is part of the Prince's Guard. It's called the White Knight. They're the two most powerful knights in the realm, right?
Yeah.
And they knew that they couldn't take on Aaron, so they cheap-shot him and cut his head off. Obviously, no recovering from that. There's no real big fantasy elements in this series. It is kind of like realistic medieval times setting. So there's no like, oh, we'll just summon a demon and put his fucking head back on or something.
Which I was expecting. I was expecting it to be revealed that Freya's like magical and her tears can bring people back to life. Or, oh, that was the other brother and they switched places. And it was like, no, he's just dead. I was like, oh, I guess I have no idea where the story's going anymore.
Yeah. Once that moment happened, I knew that I was in for a different story than I thought I was in for. And everything after that moment, I feel like it gets super interesting. That's when the relationships, the dynamic between her and Alex, and then, like Spencer mentioned, this new character, Julius.
Julius, yes.
Yeah. That's when things start getting really, really interesting. And I'll say that's like at about maybe a little past the halfway mark in Volume 1.
Yeah.
And that's where things really, really pick up. Yeah. After that, we meet Julius, right? And of course, Freya is like in shambles, and so is Alex. He's in shambles too.
Yeah,
and,
obviously.
Yeah, obviously, he just watched. They all saw, their brother just get decapitated.
Yeah, decapitation's not a joke. Like
Yeah.
that shit is crazy.
Yeah, and all the Tyrian soldiers who are like praise Aaron because he's such a badass warrior. Like they just saw him just die like that, and it's like, whew, what are we gonna do? And then of course Freya has to take in the role of the prince, in which she, gets taken into a room with really what becomes like the supporting cast, being the prince's guards and being the main general of Tyr, and they're the only people who are informed of the fact that Freya is actually not Edward, and that Edward is now a woman. they're the only ones who know that. So only about 4 characters actually know the big secret that's involved, the higher ups. And that's kind of introduces the main supporting cast. And you guys were talking about with like Aaron and how he was like being pushy and like very romantically questionable with Freya, but you guys haven't even touched on Julius, man.
Yeah. He really loved his prince.
That was his thing. Is he was like,
yeah, they mentioned he was the closest out of everyone, and he like takes the bedsheet off. And just, like,
Mm-hmm.
He was like so infatuated with Prince Edward because he was such a loyal knight, is so what they say.
Quote unquote loyal
and
knight.
people literally like make fun of Julius because they're like, we know you have like you had a romantic relationship with the prince. Like there's been rumors, they actually like legitimately talk about that. And then when you see how he treats Freya, who in this case is now a girl, right? And Julius is aware of that. But of course it looks like Prince Edward, so Julius is kind of recovering his psyche by like trying to get Freya to live through Edward. But Freya is nothing like Edward was.
No.
Like, at all. Edward was this badass warrior prince, and Freya's this, like, scared girl from the country who just got thrown into leading her entire nation against a nation who's much more powerful. So she's in a very bad spot, and you have all these people who are so attached to what the prince was, and that causes a lot of stress for her as the story progresses. Obviously. So
dude. If he was that way with Prince Edward, then... I think he's got some searching that he needs to do.
I think he knows exactly what he wants.
I mean, and not even because there's anything wrong with them being together, other than that boy young.
No, that is definitely true, and I want to look up how young he was because it's turning into, honestly, like, again, fucking Black Butler, not to compare to Black Butler, but CL and Sebastian, people like ship them together, which it's like, no, like you shouldn't do that because this is like a demon.
Yeah.
And a 12-year-old kid, let's not do that. But I don't know.
Freya's like 16 at this point. I think Edward was younger. So I think he was probably 13 or 14, maybe 15. I know Freya's a little bit older.
Yeah.
So it's kind of drawing the line between like, okay, Julius, are we playing this devotion off, this romantic infatuation off as just devotion to your prince, or is this something that's actually like you're like you liked the prince, like you were in love with the prince, whether like romantically or not. It still kind of throws in some like insinuations of like, okay, this is bordering the line of what might be acceptable. And Julius does not slow down on any of
it.
No,
dude. Julius is hot out the gate.
In volume 3, I shit my pants.
Oh my god, I need to read volume 3. I need to read volume 3.
I was like, what the fuck is... No, you guys, this show, this manga right now, hopefully a show one day, we'll see.
Hopefully.
This manga is just like any other really hyper-realistic anime or manga series. It's not afraid to kill characters. And that's what I really like about it, is any characters you see now might not be here in a couple volumes later. It's very good at doing that, and I think that's like one of the things. But Julius he just doesn't slow down with the whole I love the prince deal. And Freya's not really romantically interested in him. That's obvious.
No, that is clearly obvious, and it is, again, medieval times. So
she's grieving,
13,
dude.
14. No, I'm going back to the age thing. You're going to die at 20. Anyway.
Yeah.
So people were getting together very
back
young.
From war, don't have the time to be coy.
That's actually a really valid point. If Kaiko Ishihara, the mangaka, if she's writing from a perspective of like hyperrealism in medieval times, then Megan's correct. That would be the case, to where you would have like kings and princes getting betrothed to like 13-year-old girls and vice versa in this scenario. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely something, but it's not...
celebrities have been doing that since like 10 years ago.
Yes, but it is different because the lifespan was different. You got a cold, you're dead, Just
the overall what was deemed as acceptable was
cold or
then.
dead?
If you catch a cold, you're dead.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the body. I was like, what?
If you get cold, you're dead.
Okay.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, dude. So yeah, Julius is. I do have some questions about Julius when we get there, dude. I'm kind of curious as to. I don't want to know necessarily, but I do kind of maybe want a few hints as to what what he. I think I might have an idea as to what he might have done or might do. But I'm just saying.
What?
But so it's at this point, right, where Julius is being very forceful and a little overbearing. I mean, he's dealing with losing Prince Edward in his own.
He's
weird way
grieving
too.
as well as Freya. That's a very important thing to point out.
Yeah.
And Julius deals with that throughout the volume and throughout the other volumes. He does deal with I just lost the person who was most important to me, the person I was supposed to protect, and that's a good thing you realize that too, Josh, because that's an important point to how he's reacting with the whole thing.
It's like your potential lover just died, and now someone is specifically having to do an impression of them and taking over. That'd probably mess with your head a little.
Yeah. The grieving process does not begin at all for you. Because you see them every day now.
Your job is to work with the person who's going to impersonate them until they die.
Yep, and you're the only person who knows anything about military strategy. You're now the best fighter in the realm because Aaron's dead. It's you have to step into a lot of shoes as well as Freya has to step into and fill a lot of shoes. But it's hard for both of them. I mean, Freya just lost her childhood best friend, or one of them at least, and then Julius just lost his lover, and his whole point of living is to guard the prince.
And that's where we kind of see some more tension between the two within their own kingdom. There seem to be some people, a chancellor, I think, and a couple other people who are maybe have their own kind of best interests in mind as opposed to the kingdom's best interests. And they host a what do you call it? A tournament, I guess, to find someone to replace Aaron in the personal guard. And of course, this is Alex's moment. This is his moment.
The fucking man.
Yeah, he does step up and he does become a badass, and he does, in his words, whatever he has to do, he'll do to be next to Freya. And he enters this tournament, and he whoops some fucking ass, man. Not only does he whoop ass, but he gets sort of disqualified because
he gets cheated by the judges because they're a commoner's not gonna rise up to that. Which was Aaron not a commoner?
Aaron was for sure a commoner. Aaron, they're brothers, so yeah.
Or was that just a bias he had to deal with also?
I'm sure it's a bias that Aaron probably had to deal with. But there's a bonus chapter at the end of Volume 3 that kind of goes into how Aaron and Alex joined the military and their whole kind of a little 15-page story about them navigating from leaving the village to joining the military. So yeah, that's definitely probably something Aaron had to deal with for sure as well, being both lowborn. So it's kind of hard to step in, and Alex just wants to protect Freya. I mean, it's shit, my brother can't do it anymore. I can't trust Julius, because they portray Julius, the Kaiko, the manga, she portrays Julius as a very, very kind of sus character. Kind of I know this dude is probably a good guy, but I can't 100% confirm that yet. He's giving me throughout the volumes, and he still gives me really I don't know if this guy has the best intentions for Freya that he thinks. But Alex is different. Alex wants to protect Freya. He loves her, right? That's something he wants to do. That's why he works so hard to try to join the Prince's Guard.
And maybe a window has been opened, when God kills a brother, your crush is single again.
You're a competition.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
it's not so bad.
Yeah, that's a great thing to live by. Cody.
Yeah, let's pretend that's not going to be the thing happening.
Am I wrong? They're going to fall in love, sure, yeah.
Okay, is he just going to be oh no, never mind? Why? I'm why else is he going to try to rise up to that?
I think they play with the ships really hard.
Oh,
in this manga because
good.
How it should be. Julius and the only ship that I'm not fucking with is Julius and Freya.
Yeah,
which we've said. I just don't see it fitting. I don't see a point. I understand, and Julius is the expert, but I'm all about Freya and Alex. I think they'd be the power couple in the story. Obviously, Volume 2 has Alex on the cover, so that's cool.
Oh, Alex.
Once again, another fucking banger cover from this art. She does all the illustrations herself as well, and the art in this manga is fan-fucking-tastic. I mean, it is awesome. It's better than Seraph of the End, in my opinion.
Really, dude?
And he has a separate illustrator.
Yeah, he does. But I think this art is amazing too. But
I think it's really fucking good. Like
Sarah for the End, and maybe it's because I'm getting it confused with the anime too, but is beautiful. Both the manga and the anime.
they take a month to write the chapters, so they put a lot of emphasis into the illustrations. For Sarah for the End, they also have a small staff, but her being a new mangaka, and as she says like we were talking about earlier, she leaves the notes and all that just to give you insights on the character and how she feels and how grateful she is that you're reading her series. Because
I love that. Before you say anything.
It's great. Yeah,
I want to go into something like being able to be free to like criticize it, and anytime an author does that, I'm like, all right, I guess I'll go eat. It makes it. I don't know. I'm always like, I'll
this is like her first big release. I mean,
yeah. It's like if a show like interrupted the first episode, we're like, "What's this about?" And then like it would just cut to the writer of the show being like, "I put a lot of thought and heart into this." I'm like, okay,
now I have to like it.
All right,
I can't hate it now.
Let me
Jesus
give it
Christ.
a fairer judgment. I'll see both sides here. I don't. Oh man. Oh, look at them. Oh, their little self-portrait.
You gotta admire the work. I mean, it's crazy that she does all this herself. I think she says at the end she leaves these little like comics she makes to talk about the production and how she's making it. I think she has 2 assistants and a translator. That's all. She does all the illustrations herself. And she talks at the end of the 3rd volume, this is not a spoiler, she does one of those comics and she talks about how she was so nervous working with her assistants because they weren't sure if Viz was going to give them a reprint of the 1st volume and release it at Barnes & Noble's, which they ended up doing. So they were trying to figure out, well, if we don't get a reprint of the 1st volume and they don't start reprinting them and selling them in Barnes & Noble again, we're not going to be able to write more than 3 volumes.
Oh.
That was what it came to for a small mangaka like herself. And they ended up reprinting the 1st volume because I guess it sold well enough. And now she's writing more. So, I mean, good for her. We love to support small mangaka. And she seems like a very genuine writer.
Yeah, she's a great writer, too. Like, let me just say that about the series is that, I mean, I think it's so well written. That's one thing that drew me to this right away is like whenever you're handling all these like relationships and I'm supposed to be invested in every single one. Like I'm supposed to be invested in her relationship with Aaron and Eric and Julius and, her relationship with her mother and her village. I mean, like I like every relationship I'm invested in. You know what I mean? I think the writing shines. I mean, the art is beautiful, but I would say the writing is handled really, really well. And to your point too, Spencer, it's interesting because there's only 4. The 4th volume in the States is coming out next month in January. That's when the 4th volume is coming out. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so it's still a fairly new series. But yeah, dude. I mean, I love that she's interjecting these thoughts into the story, like things that she's going through as she's creating these characters, and the process too is interesting of how she even like came up with this. There's a little chapter at the end of the manga where she's kind of retelling the story of how she even came up with the story, where she wanted to write a romantic comedy, and because she was reading a series that she loved a lot at the time, and then her agent called her and was like, "What do you think about writing a series about war?" And she was like, I mean, I guess, yeah, sure, let's do it. But I mean, for that being the situation, like she's killing it. I love this series, man.
Yeah, I mean, the first like scene is all the character dynamics of like being upset that the younger brother is getting like, like the older brother like makes the first move and you're like, oh, the poor younger brother, he's lived in the shadow of the other. You already like already having that like debate just shows you like it like that took like 2 pages for you to be like, I can't believe he would do that to his younger brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's a TV show, that'd be the moment where you watch it like, oh my god, he just did that, his younger brother, and then it's like a sad piano music.
I can't believe this.
Yeah.
I'm 2 pages in and I'm already pissed off.
Yeah. How dare Aaron do that to Oleski?
I wasn't pissed. They have equal footing, okay, and he tries harder and he's working harder at being with her instead of the other guy who's kind of just admitting defeat for his older brother because he just does everything better than his older brother. But I feel like if he put some more thought into it, woke up earlier than his brother, did some more shit for her, then maybe they could have kissed as well.
Yeah, in
Bro,
the words
just set
of
an
Megan,
alarm, dude. Just set an alarm. Get up, dude. Come on.
Just get up, dude. Also, too, like to the credit of Alexis for growing, right? Or Alexis, Freya grows a lot too. Like
absolutely.
One of my favorite lines in this series is something that Julius Because, yeah, she is a crybaby for the majority of the first volume.
She cries a lot.
Yeah, she cries a lot. But my favorite line in the first volume is something Julius says to her when she keeps crying is basically he's telling her to be brave and to stop crying. And you can only tell someone that so many times before it just sounds like they're just repeating themselves. But he says, tears hold no power, right? And when I heard that, I was like, God damn, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why that hit me. And I don't cry a lot. So before you make a fucking joke about it, Cody.
Yeah, you're almost inhuman.
Yeah,
You
no one
don't cry a lot.
No one even like went to say anything. He's like, and I don't cry. And now his eyes are watering. I'm not a crybaby. Don't accuse me of being a crybaby. You know why you would say that? Why you would jump to that conclusion? Because you're a little crybaby.
Whoa.
Well, if Freya can get past it, I can get past it.
Yeah, well, you're not as strong.
Yeah,
as Freya.
on God.
Oh, God.
Character
Yeah,
fucking
Spencer.
development.
Yeah, thank you, Spencer. It's nice having someone on my side. For once.
In
Yeah, literally
Texas.
on your side as well. He's
Yeah.
like on your side.
He can only see the side of your face.
Yeah, go ahead, Spencer.
The dialogue is like very important, like quotes like that, and there's many other things throughout the volumes that the dialogue is very important. And Kiko even said, like in a note, she's like, "I was writing Alex to be like the very much so less important brother, like less important character, but then I realized he's got to have a shit ton of dialogue to continue the story, you know? And the dialogue is what drives shoujo, and I think Megan can definitely attest to that. But with Freya, it's big, has a huge action focus too. So it's not like, oh my god, this is all dialogue, which is the case for a lot of romance-based anime and manga.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Oh, I like
Mostly
the
dialogue.
where she talks about designing the Aaron, and she's like, and I like she was like drawing him to be attractive. She kept getting feedback that like he wasn't attractive. She's like, and that completely confused me. And it's like, yeah, if you look at it, like this is the attractive character.
Well, yeah, I mean, she kept getting feedback until she got it right. And so in the final version, he's hot as fuck. And it's funny, too, because she mentions that she likes drawing Prince Edward, right? More than Freya, even though they look a lot alike. But Prince Edwin is more like charismatic, and his like I guess poses and positions and facial expressions are
a
different.
lot more arrogant, like I'm confident in what I'm doing.
Yeah, they have a
and-
different energy for sure.
Yeah, and she's literally like, I love drawing him more, but the story is what it is, you know? And I
So
love
she
that.
has no control over what happens. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I love her for it, you know?
Yeah,
She's
no,
just
I'm
being
agreeing.
honest.
She's sacrificing. She's sacrificing for the good of the story.
Yeah, I'm on
she
the
could've just-
side of this.
It
I'm
just
not-
doesn't feel like
yeah,
it.
I'm
no,
not
it doesn't sound
arguing
like
against
it.
you
Doesn't
guys are
feel
like,
like
yeah,
it.
that is a good point, isn't it, Cody?
Okay.
Yeah, it is cool that
okay.
happens. Fuck you.
Whoa.
I'm like, I just said it was a good thing.
Well, say it less aggressive.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Well, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That was you.
That's a positive aspect of the series. Yeah, it is. And you know what your problem is? You don't see enough positive aspects of series.
That's not what I said. Maybe that was the energy I brought
It
up.
was the energy you brought.
Maybe, yeah. But
You
that's
keep bringing
not
out the
what I
negatives
said.
now.
Maybe a little less Aaron, a little more Alex here.
Oh. I like that, Cody. Okay, so that brings us pretty much towards the end, right? I mean, there's this moment where one of the guards gets kind of kidnapped or ambushed, or that's kind of a question I had too before we get into even like a little bit past volume 1. They made it seem like one of the personal guards was purposely tracking these people, and then the next thing you know, they're in the back of a wagon, and Freya jumps down to go save him. Am I wrong in the way I read that they got captured on purpose, or did they actually get captured? Spencer, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was with Chancellor Maruk, his private army, who had well, essentially what had happened was McCall got intoxicated.
Right. Yeah,
He got super drunk
because they got in
and
an argument with Freya, aka Prince Edwin, which I don't think they even know is not the prince. It's literally only
They do not. No.
Yeah.
literally only Julius and Alex, who is also
the other two guards do not know.
Yeah, who is also after the competition now because Freya manned up. A squire to Julius, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alex, that's the important thing about Alex's character is he eventually becomes Julius's like squire assistant, because Julius is like, you know what, fuck it, you won't shut up, I'll train you.
Yeah.
Like you won't fucking leave the prince alone. Like we'll train you. You
I
can be
like
my squire.
I like the villager murmurs when she makes that declaration. They're all like, That's classic Prince Edward. Such a wise, great captain. They would do something like that. Like, just how every villager is behind this prince. Like, man,
God.
Classic Edward.
Yeah.
Pulling a
Classic.
move like this, everyone's happy.
Classic Eddie.
So psyched.
Classic Eddie.
I mean, I love how like kind and alive he is. Those are my favorite aspects of our prince.
He's so alive. He's full of life.
Yeah, never looked better, actually.
Yeah,
you know?
no.
It's like everybody, like, I don't know, dude. Fucking Edward must have been a good looking guy because everyone fucking just looks at him and they're like, dude, I love this guy.
Dude, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, something about this guy, you know?
If fucking Freya's got to hop in here, fucking 16-year-old girl, and just like, bro, what the fuck? Why is everyone infatuated with me, man?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to fucking live here. And it's like, the real question is like, will Freya end up with somebody her age, like Alex? Or is Julius just gonna simp hard enough to where
No.
he can?
No way
No,
she's gonna
if-
get with Julius. No fucking way in hell.
Yeah, if she gets with Julius, I'm out.
Yeah, no,
That's
honestly.
the ultimate plot. I've never seen a bigger plot twist if that happens.
Yeah.
Truly,
There's
truly.
no way. There might be some tomfoolery, sure.
Sure, some
But they're not
groping.
gonna. Yeah, okay. Capadonning, maybe.
Yeah.
No,
but-
there's a scene in Volume 3 that just
Okay,
fucking
I need
just.
to. Okay, I need to read it.
Oh, it makes me want to puke.
Oh, I need to
my
read it. I need to
God.
read it. I need to read
It's
it.
like when you read the panel, you're like, wait, hold on, what? And then you flip a couple pages, and they explain, and you're like, oh my god, you're like, oh my god, like why?
Oh,
Why?
I don't like that.
I like that.
I have to know what it is.
I just want to see it. I'm curious
I hope
now.
it's not as bad as what I think it is.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of some horrid shit.
Yeah.
right now.
I think if y'all heard it, you guys would be like, oh.
Heard it.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Like, if I were to inform y'all on the basis of what happens, of course it's not a spoiler. It's just like a thing. I can say it. It's
because I think
it's not like etchy, like, you know, sexual stuff involving Freya.
Right.
It's just something that they threw in to make the scene more like raunchy, but it just made it more like, why? You know?
I'll be the one to ask it. I'll be the one to question that. It might be like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah,
It depends
who
if you're
knows?
into it or not. Because for me, I was like,
Okay, so it involves obviously
Julius. And,
Julius,
and
yeah.
Freya.
Okay, then
'cause
maybe
where
maybe
mine
not.
is going is they have sex. Like,
Or
that's-
he like
No.
really does.
Hold
like
on.
He really. Yeah.
as long as it's not that. Because now I'm like
it is
scared.
not.
Okay,
They do
all right.
not have sex. It's just something that you wouldn't. Like, maybe I'm just over exaggerating what it is.
What
but,
does she
like,
pretend to be like? What would it help if I pretend to be the prince?
No, she doesn't want to be with him.
Okay, well maybe we'll
Would
ask.
it help?
Maybe we'll ask Spencer at the very, very, very end.
Yeah, I
My
wanna know.
mind is
Yeah.
erasing now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
because now
just
I
read
need to
it.
know. Now I need to know.
And
but-
this series is basically it's to trick people into getting into shoujo. Because now I'm like, well, I'm gonna keep reading it.
yeah,
not
dude,
true.
I'm
But
gonna keep
the
reading
reason I'm interested now isn't like, oh, I want to see the fights, and they're like, she's not gonna get with Julius.
Welcome
can't get with
to
Julius.
my world. Welcome to the big dog.
Yeah, dude, I'm hooked. Honestly, I'm hooked.
It's like a background character is doing the shoujin thing of like, I gotta become the best to take over after my brother. I'm like, I don't care. She's not getting.
Yeah, dude, I did not expect to care about this series as much as I did, and I'm definitely gonna keep reading, and I can't actually wait to read the next volume. But since Spencer has read a little past the first volume, before we wrap it up, do you guys have any questions? Anything you want to know besides obviously what Julius ends up doing to Freya? We'll save that for the very, very end. But do you guys have any other questions for Spencer about things where the story might go or things that may or may not happen?
I mean, the only one I guess is Sable, and they kind of show him talking to this other character, and he's like in a cell, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm late, Lord Sable. Let's get this done, or like let's talk about this." And like they kind of hint at like, obviously shenanigans. Someone tried to poison the prince, and I can have a good guess who is behind that shit. So it's like we're gonna see that. We're gonna see probably some other shit gonna possibly happen to Freya. She might be in danger. I don't really have any other questions besides like how does that transpire? Like, how does it get worse? Does it build more? Or?
Oh, it gets like the whole. See, when I guess Kiko like wrote Prince Freya, it's very much like Game of Thrones kind of inspired in my opinion. And the fact that there's a lot. Of course, the first volume just sets up like the setting and the most of the characters and you know what's just general synopsis of what's going to be happening. But it gets really into like the politics and the violence, and there's like a whole ass like war and battles that occur. So there's a lot more than just Freya running around the castle being like, "Oh, I'm Prince Edward, Julius, do this," you know, type deal.
Yeah, was that a leaked audio clip of the anime adaptation?
Yeah, that's actually my voice acting. I will be voicing Freya and Edward in the anime adaptation of Prince Freya. Make sure to check that out.
Even the mangaka, who's famous for leaving notes throughout the series, says, "I'll do my very best to make the next volume more interesting than this volume."
And she definitely did. Holy shit.
Yeah. So that's my question. Before Cody, I guess, has asked you any questions he has. My question is: it obviously does get better and better each volume, right?
Yeah.
And more intense, maybe more.
Oh yeah. Like so, what Ishihara does is she's done this with every volume. So at the end of volume 1, you see where it's the line where that really makes you want to keep reading because it says, you know, that this was the beginning of events that would shake Tyr to its very foundations.
Yeah.
So she leaves you like, oh, fuck. What's going to happen next? In volume 2, it's even worse. It's one of those things where you get to the last page, you're like,
oh my gosh.
That
Yeah,
shit, no. Like, I read it and I was like, I had to put it down. I was like, oh, no. I was like, no. That did not happen.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait, dude. Cody.
In volume 3, is like real Freya development type shit. Like
real Freya development type
real
shit.
Freya
I like
development
that.
type shit. Like she gets
that.
some real fucking development, you know. It's not as much of a crybaby per se. It's very good. I really enjoy the art. I really enjoy like Ishihara's writing like style, like you were saying, Josh. I just really enjoy how she just like portrays stories. And I hope she gets to continue and finish Freya, but I hope if not that she can at least continue and Viz will let her release more things.
Yeah, dude, I hope more people check this series out.
Honestly.
Because I want so badly for this series to continue. I mean, it's asking way too much for it to get an anime adaptation at this point.
Yeah.
I think more people just need to check it out, obviously, first. But
yeah.
I hope so much that if anybody watching this is at all interested, that they check out the first volume of Prince Freya. Cody, do you have any questions for Spencer about the series?
I think that covers everything.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I can't tell people watching how surprised I was by this. Even when Spencer, you made that TikTok about it, about you going and getting it from Barnes & Noble, I was like, oh, Spencer, I think's kind of losing his mind a little. I think someone needs to check on Spencer. No, but it was so good. And I'm so happy that you introduced us to this, because it's something that I'm going to continue to read, and it's going to be something that we can keep talking about when I catch up to your ass.
Even yes, I would love to talk about like volume 2 and volume 3, because that's when shit goes down. But even to put into perspective with like the popularity of this series and where Ishihara's at with it and things like that, this upload on volume 1 will probably be the only video on YouTube with Prince Freya in the title.
Which is one of our goals.
So it just putting that into perspective, to where the only videos I could find on it were a few channels that didn't include it in the title, but did like monthly manga haul reviews where they just sat in front of a camera and grabbed it and were like, this series, bought it, read it, go. This next one, bought it, read it, go. It wasn't anything actually about Freya. So I'm thinking with the publication of this podcast that like you guys will be in. That's why I love to be a part of this conversation too, because I'm passionate about the series, and it's good that I could come on y'all's platform and you guys could really enjoy the series and help promote it, because I think Ishihara will appreciate that a lot. And if she is watching this video, keep writing. We're gonna keep reading.
Oh my
keep
god!
Writing, we're gonna keep reading.
Yeah, dude. If you as long as you keep writing, I'll keep reading.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
I'm buying volume 4 and it comes out in January. I got 3 of them right here. So you have people who love your series.
Absolutely.
If you keep writing, I'll keep shipping.
Yeah, I'll keep shipping everybody except Freya and Julia. So write
I'm
that
not
down.
on that. I'm not
Yeah,
on
let's
that boat.
take that out just real quick.
Yeah.
Throw that away.
Yeah.
I know that's someone's fucking favorite. I know that's someone's bread and butter.
Oh,
Oh, of
yeah.
course.
Oh yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
they
It's
need
my
to be
bread and
together.
butter.
Oh, come on, Spencer. All right. Well, I think that'll probably do it for our review of Volume 1 of Prince Freya. Spencer, do you want to... I mean, you kind of sold us, I think anybody watching, too, on the series. But if you're still questioning it, if you're on the fence, definitely check it out. It's a series that's definitely worth reading for its incredible art, for its, incredibly well-written characters. The world is really well thought out. It's a beautiful story. It's a shoujo, but it does sort of trick you by hooking you with this like Game of Thrones action kind of plot as well. It's great, especially if you've never read a shoujo. I think this would be a great first...
This is a great entry level of shoujo because it tricks you, and now you're invested in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to do it. If you've already read it, let us know what you thought about it. And if you decide to read it because of this video, let us know in the comments down below what you thought. But Spencer, first of all, round of applause for Spencer, huh? Yeah, well done, Spencer.
Good show.
Spencer, before we let you go, and before we plug the Baka Boys podcast and everything, is there anything right now that you're currently reading or watching that you'd also like to recommend?
Real quick, just want to say thank you for having me on, and I know for the first 2 minutes of this fucking podcast, I didn't say anything. Okay? I was a bit overwhelmed and awkward, but I hope you guys the viewers came to find me not fucking annoying or just quiet, but I got better with that. But as far as what I'm
First of all, I'm
reading,
gonna stop you there. You were great, dude. You've been a great
Thank you.
guest. You've been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Continue. I'm sorry. Continue.
But as far as what I'm watching and or reading at the moment, so if you didn't know, which if you're a Volume 1 viewer, you have to know that the Volume 1 boys and girls did a review on Chainsaw Man, 2-part review actually, over the entire series, what was out at the time. I think it's about 80 chapters.
Yeah.
I actually began reading Chainsaw Man. I'm on chapter 65 right now. Very, very unique and very interesting series. Also one of those things where I went into it and it completely just changed my expectations. I had completely different expectations of what the series was going to be, and it pleasantly surprised me. So I would recommend Chainsaw Man if you have a Shonen Jump subscription and you want some manga to read. Also go watch Volume 1's reviews when you're done catching up. But as far as watching, I was looking, and I was in between. I was like, fuck it. Do I watch Assassination Classroom? Do I watch Ode Gairu? Do I watch Rent a Girlfriend? Or do I watch High School DxD? I'm going to watch High School DxD.
Damn, God
I'm watching
damn.
High School DxD. As a matter of fact, it's on my TV back here right now. Come on, TV. Fuck
It's
you, TV.
queued up. It's queued up and ready to go.
Yeah, there we go. High School
There it
DxD.
is.
But yeah, I don't know if I would recommend it per se. I wanted something that had like 4 seasons. It was kind of long, but also had like a story. And I don't know why DxD popped in my fucking head. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because Cameron, my co-host, he really likes it, so I was like, fuck it, I'll check it out. So that's what I've been watching. Been reading Chainsaw Man. Of course, I'm caught up on Safe of the End. That's a monthly thing, so it takes fucking forever.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, poof.
Well, those are
Hell.
solid reviews, dude. And
yeah.
actually, you might not know this, Spencer, but everybody watching by the time this video comes out will know that we actually just recorded a part 3 to our Chainsaw Man series review covering the last chapter and the few chapters before that. So if you've seen part 1 and part 2, if you've seen part 1 or part 2, you can check out part 3. It's out now, and we cover the few remaining chapters and the very last chapter as well. But dude, Spencer, thank you so fucking much for coming on here and being here with us today. You were an amazing guest. Just let them finish their little song. And
So now we have to keep going.
And if you enjoyed this episode at all, definitely check out the Baka Boys podcast. Spencer is one of the 3 hosts with Kieran and Cameron. You can go to Baka Boys Podcast, their YouTube channel. I mean, they're killing it on TikTok. They have great content. Their Attack on Titan first episode reaction was great, by the way, too. They're just making all kinds of cool ass anime content for you to check out So if you haven't checked out that channel, make sure to do that as well. Spencer, anything else you want to plug? Any handles or anything?
Yeah, you can find the Baka Boys on basically every platform, just at Baka Boys or at Baka Boys Pod. If you look up Baka Boys, our channel will come up. I'm Spencer, or at Tech Crusader, so you can find me. I'm also on primarily TikTok. I make a lot of TikToks and stuff. I've been doing that a lot recently. You find me at Tech Crusader on there. If you just look up Tech Crusader on YouTube, I have my own channel where I'm making content. I'm going to be doing, been working really hard on growing my channel and stuff, so I'm going to be doing a huge Attack on Titan video essay talking about how fascism and how Nazism is relevant in Attack on Titan and how it's portrayed through Isayama's writing. I'm going to be doing a huge video essay on that. So if you're interested in history or politics and how that relates to the creation of anime and manga, I'm going to be doing that video. That'll be on my channel. But yeah, make sure you go check out my podcast, our podcast, Baka Boys. You can check out my channel if you want. You can check out my TikTok. I'll be on there posting shit if you liked what you saw from my conversations about Prince Freya or whatever. I don't know. I'm not that cool, but I do make
pretty cool, dude. Yeah, you sound pretty cool to me.
Dude, I'm so fucking cool, dude. I got anime posters on my wall.
Hell yeah.
Cool, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, again, thank you, Spencer, for being here. Thank you guys for watching and listening. And obviously, you can go to Volume 1 Podcast, find all our links to our Discord, our social media, our Patreon, everything there. But I think that's going to do it for our Prince Freya review of Volume 1. So I think there's nothing left to do other than get out of here on our outro that's always the same and never freaking changes, which today is...
Well, the last words of this volume manga is I can't escape bloodshed.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting
that's what
choice
the
of
author wrote
ending.
at the end.
Yeah.
She said, I can't escape bloodshed.
What
'Cause
about, can we do my favorite line this time?
What?
Tears hold no power?
Okay.
Yeah, we could
that's-
do yours.
Or does,
Please?
I mean, Spencer,
does
do you have anything
does
better
Spencer
than
get
that?
to-
I mean, this is a cool line. If he draws his blood... draws his blood... No. Misquoting. I apologize.
Reading too
I
much Chainsaw
apologize.
Man, huh?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, fuck. If he draws his sword and lets the blood flow, he need only be brave.
Damn, that's a good
No,
one,
that's-
too.
We
that.
will try to remember
Yeah,
that.
okay,
in one
Spencer.
go. We're not going
Okay,
to
repeat
Wait,
it.
Spencer, repeat it one more time.
Oh,
Repeat it one more
fuck,
time.
okay.
Please.
If he draws his sword and lets the blood flow, he need only be brave.
Okay,
we'll follow your
All
lead.
right, we'll try it. All right, thank you guys as always for watching and listening. And until next time, if he
draws his sword
and lets the blood flow, he need only be brave.
Hell yeah. I'm in church right now.
Fuck yeah. Check out Volume 1 Podcast. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.